Okay.
This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to week 5 of Primetime Blitz, brought to you by Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I'm the host, Big B, followed by my weapons of destruction out there. Beneath me is my co-host of C2C Rankom, Primus, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Excited. Last week, we fell out of the rankings, the undefeated, but wasn't too much of a shock when you decided to let the ball off at the 1 yard line and then decide on a 76-yard rush that would have given us a touchdown and the lead. Oh, we decided, same guy decides to get a hole. Other than that, excited for week 5. It's unbelievable, guys. It's week 5 already. And seems like I said this last year that the seasons go by quick, and this is getting quicker.
Yep, it sure is. And next to me there, the owner of the only tie in the league right now with the Green Bay Packers, his Dallas Cowboys, Crispy Bacon. How you doing?
I'm good. I don't know if I feel good that it's a tie, but I mean, you didn't lose, but you didn't win. So,
hey, keep your head up, man. We all gave you crap for picking the Giants as your lock of the week, and look what happened. Pretty quarter for me down there. We got the rookie sporting the Chicago Bulls jersey. The rookie, the guy with the lock of the week streak of 4. Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Got my Bears at 2-2 going into the bye week. We got the fantasy football win, so told you 2-0. I'm pretty good.
Yeah. So, well, let's get the recap of week 4. I'll start. Wasn't a good week for Minnesota. I was kind of scared about that game, just like I am this week. Pittsburgh brought the defense. Vikings had no answer for it. They had their chance. That offensive line was hurt. They just could not keep that line away from Wentz, and I'm liking Mason, and like I keep saying, Mason runs mean. I mean, I think if he stays healthy, that guy's going to put up 1,000 this year. But it's going to be good week of football. Outside of that, Crispy, your Cowboys and Packers tied up. So what's your thoughts on week 4?
like I said, I thought we did good. You didn't win, but you didn't lose. You did put up 40 points against Green Bay. Even though they did too. I thought that, a lot of people thought Parsons was going to be trouble. Offensive line for Dallas did good keeping Dak up, except for that one time in overtime. I think we could have had that touchdown, but he did sack him. But other than that, I thought everything went good.
All right. Tim, the Colts, like you said just a few minutes ago, fell from the undefeated, but they're 3-1. So what's your thoughts going into week 5?
I'm happy to be 3-1. We could have easily be 2-2 at this point, especially after that Denver game. I'm happy at where we're at. we had a cornerback thought it would be cool to retire midweek before the Raiders game, so we lose Xavier Howard to retirement. But that's fine. He almost cost us the game in Denver, so against Denver. So I'm not really too heartbroken by it. I think that's another reason why Mike Hilton, who came in big, had a big game. He was pretty much signed him off the street, and then he's starting as the nickel defensive back, and showed out in that game. I'm excited. We get the Raiders, so I'm excited because we possibly could be going into week 6 at 4-1.
All right. And we'll give it the spotlight this week to Mr. Bear himself. I know Mesrel's not here, but we got a second Bear. Kevin, Bears shockingly got 2 victories here the last 2 weeks. What's your thoughts?
Well, it was to be honest with you, it was an ugly win. You know, the Bears could have easily won that game by more. I mean, you had 3 interceptions and a forced fumble, and I think we put up 7 points off those 4 turnovers. So, you know, they could have easily won that game by 13 plus points. You know, offense showed its struggles again, so, you know, I'm still on the train of Caleb Williams needs to prove himself for me to, you know, finally be sold on him. Because, I mean, dude, you got the ball inside the 30 twice off turnover, and you did nothing with it. So, I mean, but hey, a win's a win. We're going into the bye week. I'm pretty sure we get the commies, you know, the week after we come back. I swear if we have another deja vu moment, I'm going to retire from watching any football ever again. Because I don't think I can handle another one of those. But yeah, Chicago's in a good spot. I mean, you got the Vikings at 2-2, you got the Packers at 1-2, so the Bears are very much in this, you know, division race. So.
Yep, and speaking of the other Bear, you say his name and he'd appear, mess around. What's your thoughts on the Bears after week 4?
After week 4, you know, it's time to start stacking wins together. If we can go on a win streak, Washington's not. Like Kevin said, we're on the bye. Washington, Daniels is hurt, and then we have the Ravens too coming up, and or Jackson might miss that game. It's a very winnable game. It's coming up.
Yep. So, all right.
Possibly end up being 7-2 by the time we get to the
real big boy. I'm sorry, mess around. My bad for cutting in there. All right. So that being said, anything kind of stand out week 4 outside of our teams? I mean, we definitely could talk about the injuries that have been plugging everybody. I mean, that Hill injury was pretty bad. Chris, what's your thoughts?
Yes. I don't think Baltimore's going to make the playoffs.
Ooh. That's a big take there.
Wow.
Kevin, what you think?
Well, Crispy Bacon just walked right into my one tough question of the week. So,
all right,
but it's worded a little bit different. But yeah, you know, Dolphins they lose, you know, their best player. The Giants get an upset. Broncos with the easy dub, 4-0 locks. But I think what we should talk about is how the Saints, they held their own against the Bills for quite a while in that game. There was a point in that game where I actually thought that the Saints were going to pull this off. Just like, man, it was like a trap game. I know someone else had it this year and they lost. It was a trap game, and they go in there and they lose that game. So it almost felt like a trap game for the Bills. But I also put on here that Green Bay's got, you know, I'm questioning Green Bay now. You know, with the tie to, you know, the Cowboys and then the loss to the Browns before, even though the Browns have a great defense. But to tie the Cowboys, I would start questioning how good your team really is, going forward the rest of the season.
All right. Mess around. What's your recap of week 4 outside of what Chicago did, the injuries and all that fun stuff?
I don't really watch a whole lot of other games besides the Bears game, so
Okay. That's fair. It's a lot
after the
going
Bears
on.
game's over, I really don't pay attention. But I did see the tie with Green Bay and the Cowboys. And I asked Ace this. I was like, so Adam, what do you think? Would you have gone for the win or would you have gone for the tie? Were you happy with that? And he said he was happy with the tie. But
Yeah,
I was like, if you remember Herm Edwards, he played to win the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
You played to win the game. If they're at home, I think they would have.
So, Tim, how about you?
And as far as the injuries go,
all right.
So,
I don't know if it's me legging or Messer legging, but so
I don't know.
Tim.
I find it strange. Is the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud really that bad? It's crazy because I would have never figured that Tennessee and Houston would be playing that Houston would be playing to not be in last place going into week 4 of the NFL season at the time, and they're just both those teams are just both completely terrible, and I still think, and I think we brought this up backstage about the Ravens and the Texans, and I realize that now it's a toss-up game because you don't know what you're expecting from the Houston Texans from week to week.
Yeah, no, I get it. There's a lot. I mean, the injury bug, I know, talking to some other people, they think it has a lot to do with lack of preseason practices with the pads. A lot of it is just walk through, barely touching people, so they're not, football ready, I guess. The Hill injury was kind of nasty. Thank God it was just torn ligaments and not his whole leg that it looked like. Yeah, I'm with Tim. Houston 0-4. I mean, last year they were a Super Bowl contender at the beginning of the year, and CJ had his slump. I don't get it. So, all right, so let's get into it, Kevin. I guess Chris alluded to it a little bit. You said so. What's your one-time question this week?
So my question is: are the 1-3 Ravens in trouble with their ball security and Lamar out for several weeks?
Tim, I'll let you answer first.
I honestly think they're in trouble. I think Lamar, they built everything around Lamar. We brought in Derrick Henry to take the load off Lamar. You brought everything you could do, and you find out what that team's really like when you don't have your all world quarterback in Lamar. I think it's a I don't know. I heard 2 to 3 weeks on Lamar, but can they play 500 football by the time he comes back? Is the bigger problem. Is the bigger question. If he's out longer than 3 weeks, you like Bacon said, you can write the Ravens off from the playoffs. You can just write them out right now.
Okay. Crispy, your thoughts on the Ravens and
Yeah, I think whoever their backup is, I think Huntley's in there. You got Cooper Rush in there.
Cooper Rush is
I
the
think
starter.
whoever's starting. What was that?
Cooper Rush is supposed to start this week.
Okay. But I think whoever's starting, We'll probably play a little better than maybe Jackson does.
Oh,
Yep. So for me, it looks like Metro stepped away. So, yeah, it's tough to count the Ravens out. I think a lot of us had the Ravens in the playoffs, make a deep run, but of course, injuries play a factor. Cooper Rush, I mean, he's put up signs. I mean, Chris, you can attest to it with Dallas. You know, there's times that we were all pushing for Cooper Rush to be the starter instead of Dak. So,
Right.
I think Tim's right. If they can win half the games that their Lamar's out, I mean, the Ravens haven't said nothing that I can see that a time frame. They're kind of keeping it hush hush to say he's on the injured list, but so we'll see. But yeah, I think right now it's probably a 46 chance that Ravens make the playoffs. So mess around. Ravens in or out with the playoffs with Lamar being out.
I don't think so. I mean, as long as they keep it afloat and win a couple of games while he's out, I mean, once they get it back, they're going to be. I mean, I wouldn't say they're dead, but they haven't been playing great even with him. Derrick Henry doesn't look like himself. Hopkins is washed. I don't know. I don't want to write him off because it's too soon.
Okay. So Kevin, you brought the question. So what's your answer?
Oh, I think honestly, yeah, you guys alluded to it. If they can win, if they can be around 500 by the time he gets back, I think they have a chance. But I think the bigger concern is going to be if that defense can step it up. I mean, that defense they've been terrible all year. I mean, you made Patrick Mahomes look good again, and he's looked terrible all year. And he goes in there and he throws for 260 yards and 4 TDs. I mean, the man doesn't have his best receiver, and he's out here just throwing dimes. He's looking really good, and I mean, they even made those running backs look good, and they haven't done anything all year. So personally, I think their biggest issue is going to be if that defense is stepped up. I mean, heck, you guys have the names. You got the huge names. You got Marlon Humphreys. You got Roquan Smith. Oh man, who they got that other corner or safety, Hamilton. They got that Hamilton. I mean, you guys have great defenders, and I just think either that defensive coordinator is just not it, or they need to figure something out, because that defense was supposed, coming into the season, was supposed to be one of the best, and I think they're one of the worst this year. I mean, they're giving up like 30 points a game.
Yeah. So just looking at the standings right now in that division of the North, or even in the AFC in general, you got the Steelers 3-1, Bengals 2-2, Ravens at 1-3, Cleveland 1-3. The biggest surprise is that the Ravens have the third most points scored at 131, but they also, and Kevin kind of alluded to the worst defense, and they're tied. No, they're 1 point with the worst scoring defense at 133. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So, but all right, Crispy, what's our history lesson for this week?
Yeah, so we talked about it earlier. Dallas and Green Bay tied 40-40 under the new overtime or redefined overtime rules that they use in the playoffs. But for Dallas, it was the first time since I think 1969 that they tied. And a lot of Cowboys players didn't know that you can actually tie.
Yeah, I mean, I still kind of wish they go to the college rule for overtime, but they're making an adjustment. So
or have a kicking, like a kickoff, like what they do in hockey or soccer.
Oh yeah.
Penalty kick or
yeah.
So.
Chris, you're only saying that because you have the best kicker in the league.
No, I actually heard it from somewhere else.
You know, Brandon Aubrey's not losing to any kicker in this league right now, unless somehow it comes down to a 70-yarder and he's got to go against Cam Little.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what you guys' thoughts on Mr. Bacon's history there? So, Tim?
Well, let's just say this. I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. The son of a bitch decided to sneak into my into my little segment for later.
Oh wow, Chris must have a bird flying around or something. So, but all right, so let's get into our picks this week. Last week, kind of a bad week all around. Myself and Chris both had 10 wins. Kevin came in with 9. Mess around with 8. Tim with 7. Of course, we all hit our locks except for mess around. So, with that being said, Thursday night, tomorrow night, we got the battles of 3-1 teams. The 49ers, who are playing the Bree squad because they got a bunch of injuries, versus the Rams, and the Rams are favored by 8.5. So, Chris, who do you have?
Let's see. I believe I have. Make sure I'm saying this. I believe I have. Yeah, I got the Rams winning this one.
All right, Tim.
I like what the Rams are doing. It's they're just a fun team to watch, and they're a fun team to watch even when your team's getting beat by them. They don't have let's just say the 49ers don't have an offensive line that can hold up to that pass rush. That's the first time I've seen all year where Daniel Jones didn't have much for time. Yeah, I've got the Rams in this game too.
All right, Kevin.
Kevin's taking a nap.
He's contemplating.
Yeah, I have the Rams as well. I mean, you got Brock Purdy out. You got, George Kittle's still gone. That defense is banged up. And I think, I mean, Mac Jones has been good, backing him up. But I think what the Rams are doing, I think the Rams win this game.
All right, mess around.
Is it just me or is Mac Jones playing better than Brock Purdy this year? Crazy. Being exposed without all those, not having those weapons. I never liked Brock Purdy. Thought he was that good to begin with. But besides the point, I'm taking the Rams.
All right. The next game, the second time Minnesota's going to be on the.
What about you,
early
Brandon?
game?
Who do you take?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm taking the Rams. So we got a sweep. The Rams.
All right.
We got the 2-2 Vikings versus the 1-3 Browns. The Vikings are favored by 3.5. Tim, who do you have?
Okay, I have to ask this question. No, this is more of a serious question than I normally do. Is who's this and who's that? Did the Vikings just fly over from Dublin to London? So they stayed over in England. Okay, they stayed over. They stayed over here. I think that's going to work out in their favor. I think even though Cleveland right now, who would have figured that the next words out of my mouth is like Cleveland's the wild card this year, would be what we'd be saying. I think it's going to be a close game, but Brandon, you're going to like me after this because I'm going to take the Vikings. I almost said the Browns after I said that.
Yeah, you did. Kevin?
I think he would have hated you. Well, he's going to hate me because I'm taking the Browns.
All right. Mess around.
Hold on.
Oh, by the way, the Browns are starting Dylan
There we
Gabriel.
go. They are. I was just going to say that's why I'm taking the Browns. Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Taking the Browns.
Just like last week, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, the thing is I know where Tim was getting at because if the Browns didn't have to fly over there, I think this would have been an easy pick for me the way the Vikings have been playing. I would have taken the Browns, but since the Vikings only had to go from wherever to London, they got a quick flight, got in there, so they get to relax. The Browns come over. I'm taking the Browns, but again, this game with the new quarterback, it would not shock me if it's close and the Browns win. So, but you guys won't have to check up on me if the Vikings lose because I'll tell you right now, it's not going to shock me. So, all right, Chris, who you got?
I got Minnesota. Even though you still had that loss last week, you still have a good record, I think, overseas.
Yeah, that's our first loss overseas. You're right. So, all All right, the next game, battle of 1-3 teams. We got the Texans 1-3 favored by a 1.5 over the Ravens, who are also 1-3. Kevin, who do you have?
Well, like I said backstage, this was the one game that I didn't do until just about 2 seconds ago. Yeah, I think, like we said, I think if the Ravens want a chance, they got to win 50% of the games that he's out. But I'm not having them win this week. I just don't think I can. So I'm taking the Texans.
All right, mess around.
What's the game?
Texans and the Ravens.
I know, but I have other leagues.
I'm going to go with the Ravens because Stroud's playing terrible, and I just don't trust him. He's ever since he tried to one-up Caleb Williams at the end of that game last year, he hasn't been playing well. So, and like I said, I just don't trust Stroud and take Ravens.
Yeah, this is a game I kind of toss back and forth with. Pretty much, I'm just going with the Ravens because they're at home. I'd probably go with the Texans the other way, but 1.5 ain't that big of a difference, even with Lamar out. So I'm going Ravens. Chris?
Yeah, I feel like that's everybody's tiebreaker is who's at home. But I do have Baltimore winning this one.
All right.
So you're telling me that Kevin and I are the only ones that are taking the Texans in this game because we don't trust
the Texans, and yes, we're telling you that.
Yeah, I guess we're telling me that because I just don't trust the Ravens defense. You could throw whoever you want at quarterback in Baltimore, and the fact is that Ravens defense still sucks. 31st, they're 31st in the league right now. So, and you're gonna let CJ Stroud go up against them. He could have one arm, and I think he'd beat that defense. I got the Texans, and I think the Ravens are going to get beat by at least two scores. I almost said 3 scores.
Oh, they're stronger now.
All right.
You should make that your lock then.
No, wait, I got a better lock.
Why does that remind me of?
I got a better lock.
Just wait. I got one too.
All right. So we got the 1-3 Giants versus the 0-4 Saints. Saints are favored by a 1.5. Mess around. Who are you taking in this one?
Upset City. I'm going to go with the Saints.
Why does the jump in move remind?
All right. Mess around with the Saints. I am also going with the Saints in this game. I think it's going to be a battle. It would not, we could always do the infamous tie because we don't know what both offenses are going to look like, but I'm not going to do that. But the Saints. Chris?
I got New Orleans.
All right. Tim?
You guys are going to make me glitch. I'm like, who's this? Okay, I have to ask this my infamous question, at least for this week. Who's the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints?
Is it Rattler still?
Yeah.
Still Rattler? I'll take the Giants.
Yeah.
I'll take the Giants.
All right. Chris? Or Kevin?
All right, here you guys go. I'm taking the Giants, and I caught the crispy bacon sickness, and I'm taking the Giants for my lock this week.
It's not a bad lock. I mean, there could be worse ones. So, all right, next
we
game.
saw the worst one. We saw a lock on a tie.
Yeah. So we got the 2-2 Broncos versus the 4-0 Eagles. Eagles favored only by 3.5. I'll start. I got the Eagles in this one. I don't think there's any question about it. Chris?
I like that this game is
Yeah,
balanced.
I'm going to continue this streak maybe and go with the Eagles.
All right. Tim?
Wait, there's a zombie.
I think I'm going to be on an island on this one. I think last week the Eagles decided to show something called the tush. Was it the tush push fake? Okay, that was pretty cool. But
It kind of reminds me of
I've got Denver in this game.
Got Denver. Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, now you got teams worried about if you're going to do the tush push fake or if you're going to do the actual tush push. So now I think it's just going to make the tush push even easier to score because they're like, oh, now we got to wait for the freaking toss to Saquon to the side, and they're just going to run it up the middle again. So I think I got to take the Eagles.
Mess around?
I'm going to take the Broncos. I'm going to take them as my lock.
Whoa, take them as
There
a
it
lock.
is.
All right.
There it is. You were so worried about the Giants log being a bad log.
All right. We got the 1, 2, and 1 Cowboys.
Who are you taking? Who are you taking?
I said the Eagles. I started.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I got the 1, 2, and 1 Dallas Cowboys, 2.5-point favorites over the 0-4 Jets. Chris, who do you have?
I got the Cowboys in this one.
Ooh, there's a
All
stretch.
right. Tim?
Yeah. The Jets don't. To me, you lost to the Miami Dolphins when Tyreek Hill decides to like Long John Silver his leg on the sideline. It's crazy, but I've got the Cowboys. Here's the problem: this game could go to overtime. The Cowboys don't tend to play like they're supposed to because they went into overtime and won on a last-second field goal against the Giants, who they should have never went to overtime with. And then you play the Packers, go to overtime and tie, which you should have never been in that game either. But yet you find a way. The Cowboys are going to break the NFL record for how many times they're going to go into overtime this year. I think this game's going to overtime, but I'm still taking the Cowboys. This would be the third time.
Have the Cowboys in 3 or 4 weeks gone into overtime?
They've been in overtime against the Giants in week 2. They were in overtime last week. So basically, this isn't going to be an overtime game this week because it's an odd number week. So next week, in the even number week, they're going to overtime.
And you know what's crazy?
Kevin,
you know what's crazy
Cowboys
too?
and Giants or Jets.
You know what's crazy too is that Dallas has the number 1 offense, but the 32nd defense. Yeah.
Yeah, defense wins championships, bud.
All right, Kevin.
Yeah, like you were saying about the overtime. I knew the Giants and Cowboys overtime game because remember that was my lock that week. I took the Cowboys as my lock, so I was sweating that entire game. I was like, all right, well, shit, that sucks. And then they ended up winning. So I sweated that one for the whole however long that game was. But yeah, I got I hate betting against Fields just because you can use his legs and frickin' you never know. I make a throw for 300. You just never know. But I got to go the Cowboys.
All right, mess around.
Where was it hard because he's a former Bear?
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
I'm going to take the Jets to get their first win of the season because that Dallas defense is terrible, and they make all quarterbacks look good. Fields is going to look good this weekend. Watch.
Jeez, guys with basketball.
All right.
Fields is good.
And I also have the Cowboys on this one too.
Fields is a running back in a quarterback body.
I love the Jets all week, and I just took the Cowboys. So
I love how we've got the Bears, all the Bears fans on the bottom row, right where they belong.
yeah. So we got the 1-3 Raiders versus the 3-1 Colts. Colts are favored by 6.5. Tim, who do we have?
6.5. That's way too many points. We don't play the Raiders well at all, and they've got a receipt coming for knocking us out of the playoffs for 2 straight years. I think this is a great pickup game after that game against the Rams. I like the Colts, and I'm not going to make it my lock.
All right, Kevin,
not make it my lock.
All right. Kevin, who you got?
Yeah, I got to go to the Colts. Even though, I watched him last week. Geno Smith he's terrible. He's garbage. You give up 3 interceptions to a Bears defense who's mid. And I mean their offense just sucks even more than their offense. But yeah, I got to go to the Colts, and I think. I honestly think Colts are going to win more by 6.5.
Okay. Looks like Messer's making his favorite meal over there, so we'll wait till he comes back. I got the Colts. I think it's going to be a close game, but like Tim said, Colts and the Colts fans remember what happened last year, getting them taken out of the playoffs. So
2 years ago.
a couple years ago, okay. All right, Chris, who do you have? Colts or Raiders?
I got the Colts in this one.
You got the Colts in here. All right, mess around, return yet? Mess around, your pick, Colts or Raiders?
He's having Mac Jones and cheese.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little concerned. We haven't heard.
I'm gonna take the Colts on this one.
All right, so it's a 5-person sweep on that. What'd you say, Kevin?
I said I'm a little concerned. We haven't seen Crispy Bacon's lock of the week yet.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming, and it's going to be big. I think it's going to be Goodyear Blimp big.
Goodyear Blimp. All right, so we got the 1-3 Dolphins who are now out with Hill, favored by 1.5 over the Panthers. Also 1-3. Kevin, I know you're big on the Panthers, so let's start it up.
Yeah, I am high on the Panthers, but after watching that performance last week to an average Patriots offense, I think with or without Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins are going to put up, just as many points. So I got to go with the Dolphins.
All right, mess around's back. We got Dolphins and Panthers. Mess around, who you got?
Lay down.
Boy, maybe I should pick this one for a tie and a lock this week.
I got that.
Without Tyreek Hill. I mean, they still got weapons, but man, Bryce Young just did not hit. He looked at it, like I said last week, looked at it at the end of last year, and he's still playing like crap. I'm going to go with the Dolphins for that reason.
I hope Bryce Young is the move because I'm starting them this week in fantasy.
All right, I have the Panthers mainly just because it's a flip of the coin, but I'm taking them just because they're at home. Chris?
I got the Dolphins in this one.
All right, Tim?
Brandon, I'm not going to leave you on Gilligan's Island. I'm going to go with the Panthers on this one too.
All right.
I thought
Always
we were
going on, Tim. All right, so we got the 3-1 Bucks versus some people might say the surprise 3-1 Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 3.5. Mesra will let you start with this one.
I live on the West Coast, so I hear a lot about the Seahawks, and I can't stand them. Seahawk just annoys the fuck out of me, and I won't pick them for that reason. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
All right. Well, I am going with Seattle Seahawks. I think this might be the game of the week. I mean, both teams are showing that they got promise. So, but Sam Darnold's doing his thing. Maybe that tutelage.
To be honest,
so I'm going Seahawks. Chris, who do you have?
I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's the worst chance. What's the worst chance? Go Pack Go or Seahawk? I don't know what's worse.
Go Pack Go.
Probably Go Pack Go.
Yeah. All right, Chris, who do you have?
I'm going to make this pick my lock just to make it interesting.
Here it comes.
Hold
on, folks.
I'm going Seattle.
Is it a lock when everybody picks that too?
Tim, who do you have?
I don't have Seattle. I think even though what is it that Baker's hadn't done a walkthrough because of the bicep injury from Sunday. This is the guy probably one of the gutsiest wide receivers. I'm going to say this now because I'm going to live it. I'm going to pull out my Dragon Viper comment of the week. I think Baker Mayfield's the gutsiest wide receiver in the NFL. I said it. I know because I already had said it. But I think Baker Mayfield's the gutsiest quarterback since Brett Favre.
I got some.
I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And I think Bucky is out as well. I think they lost Bucky Irving. So they lost Bucky Irving and they don't have Mike Evans. So they lost two big weapons. But I'm taking the Seahawks just mainly because of the weapons injuries.
All right. So we got the 0-4 Titans versus the 2-2 Cardinals. Cardinals up or favored by 7.5. I'm going to start. I have the Cardinals because right now I'm still kind of waiting to see the Titans do something to impress me. So Cardinals it is. Chris.
Yeah, I'm going Arizona as well, and for Tennessee, it's kind of like that meme where, as that person with the team and the stick, and you're like, do something. That's Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm spinning it.
All right.
Oh, I
Tim.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
Me. Okay, cool. You know, the Cardinals are only a half game out of out of first in the West. Just
That's
on that
crazy.
alone, I should take Arizona because forget it. I'll just take Arizona. There's this why analyze a game that's probably the easiest game to analyze.
All right. Kevin?
Yeah, this would have been my lock this week if I didn't take them earlier, but I'm taking the Cardinals.
All right. Mess around.
We're going to go with the Tennessee Titans to get their first win of the year.
You know, mess around is all about those first wins. I don't know what it is. So.
But
look at the injury report.
Hold on. I thought this was going to be a lock.
I don't think anybody's going to pull out the Detroit Lions and go, oh, and whatever.
That's true. I don't think so either. But looking at the injury report, ESPN does not have Evans or Bucky on the injury report.
Really?
So,
I looked at my fantasy earlier, and he was projected 0 points.
Okay.
So I got dual.
All right.
He was spotted at practice in crutches and a boot.
Okay. So we got the Commanders 2-2 versus the Chargers 3-1. Chargers are favored by 2.5. Crispy, who do you have in this one?
For the Chargers game?
Yeah, Chargers and Commanders.
Yeah, I got the Chargers winning this
I'm
one.
gonna try so hard.
All right, Tim?
Yeah, the Chargers need a bounce back game after losing to the Giants. I said that really, really succinctly. They lost to the Giants, a team that had been No, at this point, and supposedly no Jaden Daniels. My understanding. I know
Daniels is questionable still.
Daniels is questionable. McLaurin is questionable. You have your two top players are questionable on Washington. You know, I think this is a great game to test whatever you can for the Chargers. I got the Chargers in this game.
All right, Kevin.
I actually, I thought this game was going to be a lot closer. This is another game that I struggled to pick because I'm not 100% sure if Daniels is going to be out or not. So if he plays, that could, change the outcome of this game. But I do have the Chargers winning.
All right, mess around.
Man, you know what? If the Vic was still here, she would love this. Battle of former Oregon Ducks quarterbacks, Mariota and Herbert. I'm going to take the Commanders because that defensive line that they have that front is amazing. And the Chargers just lost all, and Slater's been out all year. So that line is going to be weak, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop that rush.
Okay. Yeah, right now, Daniels is listed to play. He doesn't have a Q or O behind his name, but I think he is questionable for the most part. So you're taking who there, mess out? I'm sorry.
I'm going to take the Commanders.
Oh, you're taking the Commanders. Okay. All right, so we get down to the Lions 3-1, 10.5-point favorites over the Bengals, who are coming home after beating the Vikings. They're 2-2. Where are we at? Tim, who do you taking?
Well, this team's terrible. The Bengals are terrible. Joe Burrow just isn't. Who would have figured that Joe Burrow was the key, and they're not. He's not a system quarterback. I've got the Lions, and I think it's going to be more than the 10.5.
Kevin?
I think the Bengals are going to wish they had a bye week because this game is going to be ugly. I think the Lions are, they're going to put up more points than they did against Ben Johnson's debut because, Bengals defense is literally atrocious. I think you could put a full team of cripples out there and they would play just as good.
Wow. Wow.
But this game's gonna be so ugly. I don't think there's one player on that team that's even gonna be able to catch up to St. Brown or catch up to Jameson Williams. And not only that, they have the 1-2 punch in the backfield. This game is gonna be ugly. I think St. Brown's gonna have 130 receiving yards plus, and I think Gibbs and David Montgomery have a chance to both go 100 yards this game.
All right, mess around.
Upset alert! Upset alert! I'm going with the Bengals. I'm gonna do it.
No.
I'm taking the Bengals.
All right,
Yeah,
never
I'm taking
mind.
the Bengals.
Never mind. Mess around caught the crispy bacon sickness.
Going with the Bengals. I'm going Lions. I don't think this game is even close. Chris?
Yeah, originally when I was predicting this, I had the Bengals winning this, but I think I'm going to switch it for Detroit. So I'm going to go Detroit.
Wow.
You know what this is? It's a trap game. Again, they should win. And they think they're
Yeah,
going
it could be the trap game that we
Yep.
always allude to. Speaking of possibly a trap game, division rivals here. The Pats 2-2 versus the 4-0 Bills. Bills are only favored by 3.5 or 7.5. Kevin, who do you have in this one?
I got the Bills, but like you said, it is a division game. But so I don't think they're going to win by that 7.5. I think this is a field goal.
Okay, so you got the Bills, okay? Mess around?
I'm going to go with the Patriots. I think Drake May is going to destroy that defense and put up 350 with 4 touchdowns.
I think we
you don't
need to
pick
start sending
Patriots.
some doctors over to mess around there and go check on them a little bit, I think.
Hey, I always take the upset picks. That's just what
Yeah,
I
that
do.
is true. You take a lot of upsets. Yeah.
I
Question:
do.
Has everybody done their locks yet?
I have.
Yeah, I
No,
have.
mine is coming up.
Mine is too.
You and Prime Moose have the same.
Well, we don't know.
Not necessarily.
Well, yeah, we're going to be locking the same game because I'm not taking this as my lock, but I got the Bills. So, Crispy,
Yeah, I got the Bills too.
Tim?
Yeah, if you don't play 3 quarters against the Saints and then all of a sudden play a fourth quarter against the Saints and see what you can do there. I've got the Bills in this, and this is not my lock of the week.
Well, no, because you already used the Bills.
No, I did. Yeah, I used the Bills anyway. I can't use this one.
Yeah. So we got the 2-2 Kansas City Chiefs favored by 3.5 versus the 1-3 Jacksonville Jags.
3-1. They're 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1.
Who's playing the Jags and who?
Kansas City
Chiefs.
versus Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
I'm not doing an upset one here. I can't do it. I just can't. I want to. Trust me, I want to, but Kansas City, I think they win this one by 10 plus.
No, Jacksonville's
I'm
at
going to
home.
skip my pick right now because I'm going to say
Jacksonville's at home?
this is
Okay.
our game that
Yeah.
we're locking in. Crispy,
Either
who do you have?
way,
Yes,
home
Jay.
away.
What was that, Dave?
I said either way,
Monday night.
on the road or home, I'm going Chiefs.
Kansas City or Jags?
Yeah, I got the Chiefs.
Tim, we'll save your pick. Kevin, who you got?
I honestly think this game is going to be a lot closer than you guys think. I mean, the Jags have been playing really good football, but I am going to take the Chiefs. But I'm taking this at I almost want to say like a 1 to 3 point game.
You're taking the Chiefs, okay? Tim, are you going to snipe me here like we do in Rankum? Who do you got?
The Jaguars have been under the radar pretty much the whole season because everybody expected them to be middle of the road team, and now they're tied with the Colts, top of the AFC South, and Patrick Mahomes isn't looking like Patrick Mahomes. He's not playing Uzi, as it were. My lock is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well,
So you
well,
don't think Mahomes is the tribal chief then?
No.
Well, if we had the little button, I would say Tim snagged me here. I got the Jags. They're at home. This is my lock. Like Tim put it, he's not Uzi. Patrick Mahomes ain't playing his Uzi self. So, yeah, I think this is still going to be a good game. Probably one of the best Monday night games we'll get this year. And who would have thought that, 5 weeks ago? But yeah, I got Jags in my lock this week. So that's our picks for this week. Do what you want with them. I would take Kevin's lock because he's 4-0 in locks right now. So, but that being said, Tim, let's move on to the Prime 5.
All right, so Bacon was nice enough to bring up the overtime about the Cowboys not having an overtime win. They had one 2 weeks ago. They haven't had an overtime. They haven't had a tie since '69. I thought it had me thinking last week when I woke up on a Monday morning, finding out that there was a tie. I thought, well, this would be a great Prime 5. Why not see who's had the most ties in the Super Bowl era? And my question is, okay, how many of these people that didn't know about you could have a tie in the NFL, how many of these players that are playing in the league didn't know that you could tie in the NFL? Have you been a fan of the NFL? They've had ties before. It's like you don't even watch the sport that you play in and don't know the rules that you can tie, because there's been ties forever. So I thought it'd be cool to give you the top 5 teams who have had the most ties in NFL history in the the Super Bowl era, because it's not fair because most of these some of these teams didn't play before the Super Bowl era.
Yep.
But my number 5 is the Pittsburgh Steelers with 6.
Wow, 6 is the lowest. No,
6 is the lowest.
Wow.
But I think a lot of those happened in like the 70s. Because the whole overtime rules changed in 72 or 73. Because you could tie in regulation. My number 14 is the Minnesota Vikings with 7. The number 3, also at 7 at number 3 is the Philadelphia Eagles. You can't even get the Vikings can't get higher on this list. Number 2 is the Cleveland Browns at 8, and the number 1 team, probably because of the original captain comeback in Denver with John Elway. Denver is 9.
Wow. So 9 ties in the Super Bowl era is the most. Okay.
Right.
I would have figured there would have been a lot more, especially back in the 70s and 60s and stuff. So,
right.
Well, I'm sure in the NFL, just NFL overall, it's a lot more.
Yeah. But in the Super Bowl era.
I guess you're right. So, all right, guys, before we get to our final thoughts, fantasy recap. There was a trade that was made. Tim, you want to do your trade recap there?
Yeah, we traded wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing too exciting. I sent him Drake London for whoever he was offering up.
I gave up Devontae Smith because why have 2 Philadelphia Eagle wide receivers that aren't doing anything?
Now he's going to do good.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the first person that I get that he gets to face is me.
Yep. Got that. So, standings, Crispy at 4-0, leading the Midwest, followed by Neighbors at 3-1. Dark from Within is 2-2, tied with the Primetime Blitz team, controlled by Crispy Bacon at 2-2. Italian, Tim Hendricks' team is 1-3, and I'm 0-4. In the West, you got Blitz Happy 4-0. You got the Cannon Falls Bombers 3-1. You got Justin Scary Team 2-2. Messerell's also 2-2. Tim's talented team Sarge, he's 1-3. And Dragon Viper, me and him have the same kind of record, which is sad. So, but matchups this week, me and Tim are facing off. Tim is favored by looks like about 11 points. Ryan with his dark from within goes up against Primetime Blitz. Right now, Chris, you might want to look at the roster. Right now, Ryan's about a 20-point favorite in that game. Crispy Bacon versus Old Neighbors. There's going to be some trash talking. It looks like a 7-point victory right now for Chris. You got Tim's talented team, the Sarge versus the Bombers. That looks like to be a 16-point game for the Bombers. Viper and Messer on to find out. That's going to be probably the game of the week at 13 points, it looks like. No, 9-point game. And Justin Scary's team versus Blitz Happy. Looks like they're predicting Blitz Happy to win by about 15 points on that one. So, guys, what's your thoughts on fantasy? We'll go with Kevin. Kevin, what's your thoughts?
Let's just say I lost my, pretty much my top player is out for the season, so I got to change my team name now.
Neighbors.
Yeah, I lost Malik Neighbors for this season. I got Benson on the IR. They got Purdy out, so I had to pick up a quarterback. So now I'm starting freaking everybody's favorite player, Bryce Young. I had Goddard, Sutton, and Eagles defense on my bench who combined for almost 50 points. So I would have – and I only won 114-100 last week. But if I would have started those three – I can tell you right now, I would have won by 30 plus. But yeah, looking at my team now, I don't have depth for running back, so it's looking pretty rough right about now. I'm trying to make some trades for a running back. I got Chuba Hubbard, but he's been pretty dog this year. He's been pretty bad. But yeah, I lost Neighbors for the year. It didn't hurt me too much because I had Sutton on my bench, so I had someone to replace him with. But my quarterback being out and losing my best receiver, it's hurting. It hurts a little bit. Actually, he's not my best receiver. I forgot. I got Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I guess my second best player. But yeah.
All right. Messerell, what about your fantasy team? How are you looking?
If you look at my roster right now, my bench, all my bench is on bye week this week.
I happened to look at it. All of them gone. Okay.
Yeah, my whole bench is on a bye week. This is what happens when you pick teams from your favorite team, players from your favorite team. I try not to do it every year, but I end up doing it every year. I pick a bunch of Bears.
I heard you would trade for DeAndre Swift. A little birdie told me.
You got Aaron Rodgers on your team there, Messerell? Jesus.
I do. Yeah.
Oh, you can't be a Bears fan if you ever have that man on your team. Come on now.
All right, Chris.
Nobody owns the team.
Doing good for trade bait.
All right, Chris B, how's your we know how your fantasy team doing. You're 4-0.
Yeah, you're taking an L this week. I hate to break it to you.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Anything's possible, but it's going to be a tough road, though. I feel like it's going to be tough, but I'll have to look at the Primetime Blitz one and see what's going on there. And I think it's going to be a fun week, though.
Oh, yeah, it's always fun. Yeah. Yeah, so the Primetime Blitz, you just have to – Moore's on a bye in the starting lineup. And right now, Tracy Jr. is out, so you just have to make two moves there. But Tim,
cool.
What are we going to talk about next week on Rank 'em? Are you talking to W or an L?
Oh, hey, I'm willing. I'm willing to go one and whatever, knowing who the one I beat was
That
and
was your
how
brother,
I
right?
beat him with Daniel Jones. Because that whole Daniel Jones, nice. But Bacon, you think about it. If you lose to Kevin, you lost to a team that lost to Kevin to Daniel Jones. Always remember that.
Well, hold on.
Always-
He's gonna if he
always-
loses, he's gonna lose to a team that started Bryce Young.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I'm doing the
It's
reverse
Patrick-
Goldberg. I'm doing the reverse Goldberg. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna win my first one and then lose everything else after that.
God, Kevin, you're talking about, man, you're talking about the Niners having a rough week with injuries or year. I mean, you got two guys on IR. You got a guy questionable, a guy out. You got two on the questionable. You got you got two on IR. You got 1, 2, 3 questionables. You got 3 people that are out. Man,
Yeah,
Do I
man.
need to change
you
that
might
lineup?
want to look into your health department there and
You
try to
gotta
get some good doctors. You know, maybe
Yeah.
you need to go over.
over there.
Maybe you need to go over massage. Sean Watson goes to get some help there.
Get that stuff, happy ending.
Yeah, exactly. So, with that being said, guys, final week. Let's go around. Mess around. Final thoughts.
I can't lose this weekend. The Bears don't play, so I probably won't be watching a lot of football. I'll probably hang out with my son.
You can lose. It's called fantasy football.
Yeah.
I don't really care about my fantasy team like I do the Bears.
Yeah.
That is true. Crispy, your thoughts
Yeah, it's
on
gonna be fun.
final thoughts?
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. More football, and hopefully there's another team other than the Cowboys that can go into overtime and either tie or win it.
All right, Kevin the rookie.
All I gotta say is, Chris, count your days, because that undefeated streak is gonna be gone after this injury-prone team decides to, grow a pair and be like, oh yeah, let's get over these little baby injuries. You guys know how
I'm
the
trying to
NFL
be
is.
the Undertaker. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you know how their ESPN does with their injuries. They're like, yep, everybody's questionable on Wednesday, and then Thursday everybody is cleared to go. And I'm just like, I sit here and I get like 20 notifications about, oh, this person's questionable, blah blah blah, and then 24 hours later they're like, yep, they're healthy. I'm like, well, what's the point of making them questionable if they're healthy?
I usually wait till
It's
Yeah,
I
because
usually
they,
wait till the game week or the game.
Yeah, trying to
the
give me
day
a
of the
mini
game.
heart attack over here by telling
Well, the
me
reason-
90%
I
of
just
my
usually
lineup.
wait till the day of.
well, the reason why they don't do they everybody's questionable is because the NFL got rid of the probable.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Yep.
that they want to make the other team think that their best player's not playing.
But yeah,
Yeah. So
Chris, count your days, because that undefeated streak's going to go away just like that Colts record.
wow.
First, you got to fix the injuries, though.
They'll fix themselves.
So
Uh,
all right. So yeah. So this week, just keep checking out C2C. What do we got? We're Wednesday, so entertainment hours coming up Friday or Sunday. Between the ropes, coming up Monday night with myself, Kevin, Chris, as we talk a little wrestling. We're a month away from Grand Slam 7. Can't wait. More to come about that. C2C Rankum. Wednesday, today was a little ill day for us, so we'll make it up to you guys next week. And our next show with Coach Cody, as he talks about his departure from the St. Paul Bears. We'll have a show Wednesday with that one next week. So with that being on deck Sunday night. So that being said, we'll see y'all next week on Primetime Blitz. Have a good one.